Are you ready to have your perception of the world completely flipped? We're about to reveal some mind-blowing facts that will make you question everything you thought you knew. Buckle up, because this journey is going to change your perspective. Ever felt like you were living in a bubble? I did. I thought I had life mostly figured out until I stumbled across some truths that shattered everything I believed. These facts didn't just surprise me. They challenged how I see people, systems, and even my own thoughts. And today I want to share them with you. These 5 powerful ideas change the way I move through the world. They might do the same for you. Let's start with one that touches every part of our lives without us even realizing it. We like to believe we're in control. It's comforting. It gives us structure. But here's the truth. We have far less control over our lives than we think. Psychologists call it the illusion of control. The tendency for people to overestimate their ability to influence events, especially those governed by chance. This illusion is everywhere. Think about it. We plan meticulously, set goals, double-check our to-do lists, and still, a random delay, a missed call, or a stranger's decision can change everything. You think you're choosing the fastest lane in traffic? Odds are, you're not. You feel like your vote is the deciding factor in an election. Statistically, it's incredibly unlikely. You plan the perfect vacation, and it rains all week, and it's not just in everyday life. Investors believe they can time the market. Coaches believe they can time the market. Coaches believe they can will win. We create rituals, routines, and systems to feel in control. But often, we're just reacting to randomness. Here's the kicker. Our brains reward us for this illusion. When we think we're in control, we feel happier, more secure. But that feeling is often disconnected from reality. The takeaway, acknowledge the illusion. We can still set intentions, work hard, and show up. But we have to let go of the idea that we can predict or dominate every outcome. When you do that, you stop resisting reality and start working with it. If the illusion of control shows us our limits, the power of chance reveals unexpected possibilities. We don't like admitting it, but luck plays a massive role in life. Consider this. A huge portion of our lives is determined by randomness. Who we meet, where we're born, which ideas we're exposed to, or even when we check our email. That one message that changed your career. Luck. That stranger who became your best friend. Pure chance. Many of history's biggest innovations, discoveries, successes have a touch of randomness behind them. Penicillin, discovered by accident. Post-it notes, a failed experiment. Even entire careers are often launched by being in the right place at the right time. Now here's the shift. Instead of fearing randomness, we can learn to embrace it. When you accept that life is unpredictable, you stop obsessing over perfect outcomes. You become more open, more flexible, more alive. Expose yourself to luck. Talk to new people. Try different paths. Step outside your comfort zone. The more surfaces you create for luck to land on, the more likely something unexpected and amazing will happen. Chance isn't the enemy of progress. It's often the spark. Let's shift gears. One of the most shocking things I ever learned is how little of our thinking is actually conscious. Most of our beliefs, preferences, and decisions are shaped by biases we don't even realize we have. Unconscious bias is not about being a bad person. It's about being a human with a brain that's trying to take shortcuts. Our minds are constantly scanning for patterns and filling in blanks based on past experiences and social cues. 2 of the most common biases are confirmation bias and in-group bias. Confirmation bias means we favor information that supports what we already believe. If we think someone's lazy, we notice every time they rest and ignore all the times they work hard. If we believe a theory, we interpret everything as proof, even when it's not. In-group bias means we automatically give preference to people who seem similar to us in appearance, values, or background. This happens even in trivial situations. We're more likely to trust, and help people who feel familiar. And we might do it without realizing that we're excluding others unfairly. The only way to fight these biases is awareness. Start questioning your snap judgments. Pause before forming opinions. Ask, why do I believe this? Where did this idea come from? Could the opposite be true? It's not easy, but recognizing your mental filters is one of the most powerful ways to grow. The more you shine a light on your mind's hidden processes, the freer and fairer your thinking becomes. Here's another fact that completely rewired my brain. The world is not made of simple parts. It's made of complex systems. And most of the time, we radically underestimate how interconnected everything really is. Our bodies, cities, economies, ecosystems. They're all systems made up of smaller parts interacting in unpredictable ways. Change one thing, and 100 things shift in response. It's the butterfly effect in action. A small event in one place can have massive, unexpected consequences somewhere else. A drop in supply in one country can create inflation worldwide. A policy change in a distant government might ripple down into your daily commute. When we treat complex problems with simple solutions, we usually make things worse. That's why quick fixes so often fail. It's also why predictions often fall apart. Because we're dealing with variables we can't fully see or understand. The lesson: be humble in the face of complexity. Don't rush to conclusions. Learn to think in systems. To ask, what are the second-order effects of this decision? And what might I be missing? It's not about paralysis. It's about awareness. When you start to see the world as a web of interactions instead of isolated dots, your choices become smarter, your empathy grows, and your frustration shrinks. Because you start to get just how layered and nuanced reality really is. So where does all this leave us? If control is an illusion, if randomness rules, if our thoughts are biased, and systems are beyond our full understanding, where's the meaning? Here's the truth. It's not about certainty. It's about presence. It's about finding meaning not in controlling everything, but in how you show up when things are uncertain. Uncertainty is uncomfortable, yes, but it's also where life happens. Think about your most transformative experiences: falling in love, starting something new, taking a risk. None of those came with guarantees. When we let go of the need to be sure of outcomes, of plans, of who we are, we create space for something deeper. We open ourselves to wonder, connection, and purpose. You don't have to know what's coming next. You just have to be here now. To be kind. To be curious. To be real. And if there's one thing that isn't uncertain, it's this: human connection matters. Purpose matters. You matter. And meaning isn't found out there in some perfect future. It's created right here, in how you choose to live, moment by moment. So now you've seen the world through a new lens. You've learned that control is mostly an illusion. That randomness plays a bigger role than we care to admit. That our thoughts are shaped by unseen biases. That systems are complex and unpredictable. And that meaning can be found even when answers aren't. These facts might seem unsettling at first, but once you sit with them, they become liberating. Because they remind us that we don't have to have it all figured out. We just have to stay awake, stay aware, and keep evolving. If this video gave you a new way of thinking, share it with someone you care about. Keep the conversation going, because the more we question what we think we know, the closer we get to real understanding. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. No more. Be more.